Well, happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. I'm on early today. It's a busy day with a couple meetings going on, so this was time that I had. So thanks for joining me this morning at 8:23. We're starting a new series for the next 2 weeks or so, and I'm calling it Well-Known Prayers in the Bible. I want to look at about 8 prayers, four in the Old Testament, four in the New Testament, as we challenge ourselves in our prayer life. And what is prayer? What is not prayer? So, as we begin to prepare our hearts, I'm going to be in Numbers chapter 27. So, if you want to get your Bible and go to Numbers chapter 27, I'll be there in about 30 seconds to a minute. Couple things about prayer that I want to make sure we go over each day so we have a good footing for where we're at is prayer is us talking to God. And we believe that the Bible is God talking to us. Prayer does not inform God about the needs. We know that God knows everything. Prayer is our expression of trust in God's provision. Prayer is more than a wish, it is the voice of faith directed to God. And then finally, Billy Graham says prayer should not be merely an act, but it should be an attitude of life. And so that is our prayer, is that my prayer is that during this study for the next couple weeks that this will stop being an act and it will start becoming an attitude. We're going to be Numbers 27, so hopefully you're there. As I've been thinking, reading, studying all through the news and talking to people, retirement and legacy are big talking points today. What retirement do I have left? My retirement took a hit. What am I going to be able to give to my kids? And we all want to be able to retire, and we want to be able to enjoy our quote golden years. Some of you watching are in your quote golden years, and we want to be able to make sure we have enough money to retire and live well on. And then we even want to be able to leave some money for our kids when our time is on earth is complete. So today, as we begin this new study on prayer, we're going to meet 5 daughters that cannot obtain an inheritance unless they come to God and God intervenes. So by now you should be in Numbers chapter 27. My goal is to set this up for you, and then hopefully it will pique your interest enough that you will go back and read. Under the comments that I have or under the title of this is the reference if you didn't catch it, but I'm going to be in Numbers chapter 27, looking at verses 5 through 16. I'm going to start back in verse 1. So if you want to read Numbers 27, 1 through 16, probably be more accurate. Okay, so here we go. Set this up. In Bible times, a man would be able to pass his possessions to his firstborn son or to his sons. We see that all the time with the firstborn son. We think of Jacob and Esau. We think of Abraham and his children as well. So we see that the firstborn son would always receive the bulk of the inheritance. However, in the Bible times, back in when Numbers was written in 4000 BC, give or take, women were not able to possess land. They were not able to receive possessions because of the culture back then. So if there was a firstborn daughter and then the secondborn child was the son, those blessings or inheritance or money would skip the daughter who was the firstborn and go directly to the son. In the case of our Bible prayer today, this man, he has 5 daughters and he has no sons. So according to Bible culture, they needed to lose all of their father's possessions and it would go to someone else. And that is not right. That does not sit well with these 5 daughters. So they go to Moses. So the 5 daughters, their father has passed away and they're standing before Moses. And there's a rebellion going on against Moses. And the daughters go to Moses and they remind Moses that their father was not part of the rebellion against Moses. And when they rebelled against Moses, they were actually rebelling against the Lord. So the daughter said, hey, our dad, he was not part of this rebellion. He did not rebel against you, or he did not rebel against God. They said, we have no brothers, and our family land and our family possessions are ultimately going to be lost from the family trust or legacy, and that's not fair. And so the ladies, they go before Moses and they ask Moses to go before the Lord. Really, the translation I read from is that Moses went and talked to the Lord. That's a different way of saying Moses went and prayed. Moses went and prayed, and he asked God to grant the girls, the ladies, mercy. So the possession can stay in the family, and so that the ladies can sustain life and have a legacy of their family and from their family while here on earth. God heard their response and he granted them their father's land. And then God went and granted new instructions for Israel to follow. And that's in the second part, verses 10, 11, 12 through 16. And God says, when a father passes, the land goes first to the son. If he doesn't have a son, then it goes to the daughter. If he doesn't have a son or daughter, if he doesn't have children, then it goes to the man's brother. And if the man doesn't have a brother, if he's an only child, then it goes to the nearest relative. God says, this is the new command I give to you and I give to Israel. And this is a great prayer, and stepping back and seeing how God takes and provides for a strong successor or provides for a legacy for the children who live in obedience to Him. The question I have for you on this Wednesday morning, which made me sit and think for a moment, is what kind of legacy or what kind of inheritance am I leaving my children? And I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about possessions or house or cars or trucks or SUVs. What I'm asking myself this morning and what I'm going to be pondering and meditating on is what kind of inheritance am I going to leave my children as far as my relationship with the Lord? When I am gone, and don't misunderstand, I'm not looking to go anywhere for a while, but what are my children, what are my girls going to say about me? What are people going to say about me? Most importantly, what is God going to say about me? So as you read Numbers chapter 27, hopefully when you read this, you're going to read how the possessions on earth are taken care of. Hopefully this drives you to ask the question, what kind of inheritance outside of this earth in heaven's economy am I leaving for my children? I hope you have a great Wednesday. If I can help you in any way, please feel free to reach out. Again, we are meeting tonight in Bible study at 6:30 at the church, and we're going to be looking furthering our study on the rewards we'll be receiving when we get to heaven. So if you're interested in that study, it's going to be in person in the building with social distancing at 6:30 tonight. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow morning sometime.